One summer, 14-year-old Lucy and her family decided to spend a few weeks at her grandpa's old, creaky house in the countryside. From the moment she stepped inside, Lucy felt something was off. The air was thick, and the shadows seemed to move when no one was looking. On the second night, Lucy was exploring the attic, a place her grandpa always warned was off-limits. She found an old, dusty trunk hidden under a pile of forgotten blankets. Curiosity got the best of her, and she couldn't resist opening it. Inside, she discovered old photographs of people she didn't recognize. But what really caught her eye was an ancient leather-bound journal. The pages were filled with strange symbols and eerie drawings. As she flipped through, she found an entry from decades ago. It read, "The spirits in this house are restless. They demand a sacrifice every 50 years. Lucy's heart raced. 50 years ago was the exact year her grandpa moved into the house. That night, strange things began to happen. Lucy could hear whispers in the walls and footsteps in the empty hallways. She told her parents, but they brushed it off as her imagination. One evening, as she was lying in bed, she saw a shadowy figure standing at the foot of her bed. She tried to scream, but no sound came out. The figure pointed towards the attic. Terrified, Lucy ran to her parents' room, but found the door locked from the outside. Desperate, she ran to the attic, hoping to find answers. The trunk was open, and the journal lay on the floor, opened to a blank page. Suddenly the room grew icy cold, and she heard a voice whisper, "You are the sacrifice." Lucy felt a hand on her shoulder and spun around to see her grandpa. But his eyes were hollow, and his voice echoed unnaturally as he said, "The cycle must continue." That was the last thing Lucy remembered before everything went dark. The next morning her parents found her in the attic, unconscious but unharmed. They left the house immediately, never to return. To this day, Lucy can't explain what happened. But the journal, it disappeared, just like the spirits that haunted the house. If you enjoyed this creepy tale, be sure to like and subscribe to Freddy K Stories to catch the next nightmare come true. As the night grew darker, strange noises echoed through the halls. The family gathered in the living room, trying to make sense of the eerie occurrences. Lucy's father, a rational man, suggested they were just hearing the creaks of an old house. But Lucy knew better. She could feel the presence of something or someone watching them. Suddenly, a cold breeze swept through the room, sending shivers down their spines. The fireplace, which had been burning brightly, extinguished itself in an instant. The family exchanged worried glances, realizing that this was no ordinary house. They knew they had to uncover the secrets of Grandpa's house before it was too late. Lucy's mother suggested they explore the basement, a place they had avoided since their arrival. With a flashlight in hand, they descended the creaky stairs into the darkness below. The air was thick with the scent of mildew and something else, something metallic. As they reached the bottom, the flashlight beam revealed old, rusty tools hanging on the walls and a large wooden workbench covered in dust. But what caught their attention was a hidden door at the far end of the room, partially obscured by cobwebs. It was locked, but Lucy's father found an old key hanging nearby. With a nervous glance, he inserted the key and turned it. The door creaked open, revealing a small hidden room. Inside, they found a collection of old newspapers and documents. As they sifted through the papers, they discovered articles about mysterious disappearances in the area dating back decades. Each article mentioned Grandpa's house as the last known location of the missing individuals. Lucy's heart pounded as she realized the significance of the journal she had found in the attic. The spirits were not just restless, they were vengeful, and the house demanded its sacrifice. Suddenly the basement door slammed shut, trapping them inside. The flashlight flickered and died, plunging them into darkness. Panic set in as they heard footsteps approaching from above. Lucy's father tried to force the door open, but it wouldn't budge. In the pitch black they felt a presence growing stronger, the air growing colder by the second. Then, just as quickly as it had started, the footsteps stopped. The door creaked open, and the flashlight flickered back to life. They hurried upstairs, desperate to leave the house for good. As they reached the front door, Lucy felt a hand on her shoulder. She turned to see her grandpa, his eyes no longer hollow but filled with sorrow. He whispered, "The house must be appeased." Before she could respond, he vanished into thin air. The family fled the house, never looking back. But Lucy knew the truth. The house's dark secrets would remain, waiting for the next unsuspecting visitor. Desperation turned into determination as the family realized they needed help. They reached out to an old family friend, Mr. Harper, who had extensive knowledge of the supernatural. Mr. Harper listened intently to their story and nodded gravely. "There's more to this house than meets the eye," he said. "We need to search every corner." With Mr. Harper's guidance, they revisited the attic, a place that had already revealed some of its dark secrets. But this time, they were looking for something specific, a hidden room mentioned in Grandpa's journal. After hours of searching, they found a concealed trapdoor under a dusty old rug. The trapdoor led to a cramped, forgotten room. Inside, they discovered Grandpa's old journal, carefully preserved in a wooden box. The journal was filled with detailed accounts of supernatural encounters and the dark secrets that had haunted their family for generations. Each page was a piece of the puzzle, revealing the true nature of the curse. As they read through the journal, the chilling reality came to light. The haunting was not just a random occurrence. It was a curse that had plagued their family for generations. Grandpa had spent his life trying to break the curse but had failed. Now it was up to them to succeed where he had not. Mr. Harper explained that the curse could only be broken by confronting the source of the haunting, the vengeful spirits trapped within the house. They had to perform a ritual to appease the spirits and release them from their torment. With a heavy heart, the family prepared for the ritual, knowing it was their only hope. As they gathered in the living room, the air grew thick with tension. They followed the instructions in Grandpa's journal, lighting candles and chanting the ancient incantations. The house seemed to come alive, the walls vibrating with an otherworldly energy. The spirits materialized, their faces twisted in anger and sorrow. Lucy stepped forward, her voice steady despite the fear gripping her heart. "We are here to free you," she said. "We understand your pain, and we seek to end your suffering." The spirits hesitated, their expressions softening. Mr. Harper completed the final part of the ritual, and a blinding light filled the room. The spirits let out a collective sigh of relief as they were released from their earthly bonds. The house fell silent, the oppressive atmosphere lifting. The family stood in stunned silence, the realization sinking in. They had broken the curse. Grandpa's house was no longer a place of torment, but a home, finally at peace. If you enjoyed this chilling conclusion, don't forget to like and subscribe to Freddy K Stories for more spine-tingling tales.